Greetings and salutations, folks. My name is Nick, and welcome to Scarlet Hollow's new content warning. This is a horror game and it is not intended for all audiences. You won't be able to save everyone. You might not even be able to save yourself. Welcome home. It's been a little while since we played episode 3. Episode 4 is not out. What last happened? We tried to confront a ghost, and everything went poorly. Nobody died, so there's that. Nobody lost years of some time in their life, but now there is a ghost in charge of the library. The previous residents have been kicked out. There are consequences to our actions. Let's see where this takes us. We are going to continue because episode 4 awaits. Would you like to see a recap before starting episode 4? Yes, I'd rather see a recap than try to myself remember, because, I think I can do a half-decent job. But the recap will probably help. Yeah, give a full recap. The long-lost cousin, the bad news. The 26 hours of bus rides with countless late-night stops in seedy depots that felt unsafe even in the middle of the day. You wouldn't normally find yourself traveling like this, but your cousin bought the tickets. Not surprising, Tabitha's probably a little bit cheap on that count. The funeral of Pearland's Scarlet. Your cousin's mother and your aunt seem like something you shouldn't ignore, even considering your own late mother's rocky relationship with this side of the family. Welcome to our family's humble estate. Unfortunately, due to the current state of the house, only a few rooms will be safely accessible during your stay. Yeah, apparently their house is built on the side of a cliff. Not a good plan. I wouldn't go wandering anywhere else if you value your limbs. The floors have been known to give out. A single deer remains behind, staring down the beam of Stella's flashlight while Gretchen whines and pulls at her harness. So yeah, over in the forest, you've got these weird kind of creatures called ditchlings, but also the animals in the forest have been growing these cancerous tumors. Come on, you, whatever your name is, grab that flashlight and help me line up a good shot. As the creatures in the tree line grow louder and more numerous, Gretchen violently strains against her harness. You dive forward and scoop Gretchen into your arms just before she manages to wriggle out of her harness. Your eyes fixate on the dark tree line over Duke's shoulders. God damn it! Stella, keep an eye on her for us. Make sure she doesn't get into any more trouble. So we've got Sybil, Stella, Gretchen, grandmother. My grandmother called them ditchlings, and they are a terrible omen, a sign of great suffering and destruction to come. From the relative safety of your cousin's uncomfortable guest bed, the events of the past evening seem like something that happened to someone else, though you can still clearly picture the terror you felt in those moments. For now, you're safe and you're warm. So that was the end of day 1. Now, Tabitha tries to mean well. She tries to make sure everything's okay. And so you end up going to her mining facility. But listen, you'd better stay out of trouble today. I want you home by sunset. I don't want to hear complaints, just do what I ask and we won't have any more problems. Tabitha takes a few steps towards the door. Sunset. Wow, that is some heavy stuff. No wonder Stella seemed distant. I'm gonna keep my ears open for you. The diner is where everyone comes to gossip, so I hear a lot about what goes on around here. I'll let you know if anyone mentions those monsters or anything else strange or unusual. Have either of you seen Rosalina around town? Oh yeah, okay, so Oscar's daughter, Rosalina, went off with the kids to the mines, as the young guns will do, as is the style of the time. I don't want to be a helicopter dad, but she hasn't been answering my texts, and I want to make sure she isn't getting into trouble out there. And there's the doctor, who is taking care of Reese. Reese is having very strong health issues. Hi, Dr. Kelly. We were wondering if it would be okay if Reese could come hang out. Nothing strenuous, we promise. Whatever you two have planned is probably beyond what he can manage right now anyways. And based on what we saw in episode 3, it might be true. And here's Wayne! Stay home. Wait for the week to end. Don't keep putting yourself in the path of danger. This is all I ask. Now, is this Wayne talking, or is this someone talking through Wayne? As the miners pack their things, you scribble your phone number onto a scrap of paper. Hey, thanks for the help. It was great to meet you all. You reach towards Isaac and shake his hand, passing your note to his palm. Don't mention it. As you leave Tabitha's office, you take a moment to get your bearings, only to be interrupted by sudden movement out of the corner of your eye. A girl carrying a bundle of snacks pops through a hole in the fence and disappears over the crest of a hill. And thusly you follow the teenagers into the mine. She didn't. I guess the old Maxwell place doesn't cut it as a secret hangout spot these days. But the Shaw mine? That place was shut down like 100 years ago, after a collapse that killed over 100 people. 2 references to the word 100 in a row. And look, there's Naruto Man. My dad is a foreman at the continuous mining facility, and he says they only abandoned this mine because there wasn't enough coal left, so it's actually really safe, and we can hang out here whenever we want. Right. My dad says our house is haunted. It is. Kanika is interrupted by a pair of thunderous knocks, the emergence of the Tommyknockers. You turn to see Becca and Alexis gone, and Rosalina anxiously hovering in front of a small tunnel in the cavern wall. She freezes as you notice her. There is something in the darkness before you that's much louder, though you don't hear it, but you can feel it in your chest, like the deep growl of a predator. Hey, are you all right, Malice? Stella reaches for your shoulder, but not before the light from your phone illuminates the chamber. And yeah, there's this kind of strange gate there. And I want to... I would imagine there's a similar gate at Dr. Kelly's, if I would have to guess. Malice, are you all right? And here we have the Tommyknockers, invisible behind Stella, or at least invisible to Stella. You manage to squeeze through the entrance just as the walls of the mine come crashing down. Holy shit, you're okay, thank God. And everyone's accounted for. That was a surprisingly close call. We could have all died in there. What did you weirdos do? Everything was fine until you adults showed up. Becca, shut up. Yes, that's what happened. The adults showed up. Tabitha doesn't say a word as the car cuts along the darkened road. You collapse in Tabitha's dusty guest bed, your head empty of thoughts. After your time in the Shaw mine, you barely even notice the dust. When you close your eyes, you see the shadowy figures that gathered behind Stella in the mines. Your thoughts are drawn to the carving on the wall and to the visions it imparted upon you. Because there's another sequence in episode 3 where you go over to Dr. Kelly's house, and while reaching for a doorknob, you have similar visions, which presents the idea that either Dr. Kelly's house features another gate, or there's something else going on in regards to the hauntings in the town. There are 2 of them now. Oh, by the way, now there are possums living inside your bedroom cabinet. One of them's name is Dustin. Are you ready? As you ready to leave, Janie approaches from the far side of the kitchen. Tabitha remains between the two of you, impatiently tapping her foot. Oh, Malice, before you go, I heard about what happened last night. I mean, I heard about it before Miss Tabitha mentioned it just now, and then I heard it again. I just wanted to say that I'm sorry you got caught up in that. You did right by those kids, though. What a blessing. Everyone getting out of that situation all right. I feel like that's almost foreshadowing for what happens in episode 3, because not really everybody gets out of that situation all right. But you find out there's some deeper history to the Scarlets, the family that basically controlled the mining in the town. Morning. Is the new blend ready? Of course. Malice, if you like to keep Miles company, Tabitha and I will just be a minute. Oh, excuse me. Wait, you're Malice, aren't you? My name is Beau. I'm Duke's boy. It's a pleasure to meet you. The policeman told me you saw what happened to my daddy. I forgot what I told him. Thought you weren't going to show. I put 2 and 2 together. I know you're related to the boss, and the other guys are all riled up. They're talking action. If they saw me out here with you, they'd think I was some kind of scab. But none of them will listen to me, especially now. They've all got bigger things to worry about than a single missing miner. I haven't forgotten about him, though. Anything you want to know, just ask. So I talked to him about Wayne for a little bit. And this is the spot. It's a public garden I've been putting together. It was just an empty lot when I first moved here, but Winnie said it was okay for me to mess with it. So when I'm stuck in a rut with work or music, I come over here and dig around in the dirt, just organizing the chaos for a little while. But I don't think we came here to talk about my side projects. I've been hearing some absolutely wild stuff about last night. I mean, I don't know how much you overheard in the diner, but it seems like the miners are planning a strike. And here's the mayor. The mayor is a dog. It's Mayor Jimmy. Why Mayor Jimmy has like this angry Secret Service man? Not only is this mayor a dog, but judging from the series of portraits lining the walls, every mayor of Scarlet Hollow has also been a dog. You can tell this dog is the mayor from his little sash and his fancy top hat. There's a regal air about him, almost as if he knows the position of authority he's been elected to. Before you can catch up to your companions, you're intercepted by a nervous man with a cross around his neck. Whoever he is, you can feel his desperation to make a good first impression. A self-sustained and self-fulfilling prophecy. Sounds like old Gretchen and the mayor may have some unresolved issues, wouldn't you say? I'm Pastor Daniel. I take it you're Malice. Everyone's been buzzing about you. I'm so sorry about your aunt, but I'm sure she's in a better place now. If you'd like to discuss your beliefs, my door's always open. And here is Reese, revealed at last in his den of whatever this stuff is that he makes. Like, what does he draw? Does he draw ditchlings? Does he draw things inspired by the horror? Like, this is definitely inspired. The basement is what you might expect out of a tortured artist who spends all his time confined to his studio. Discarded canvases line its edges, while trash and sketches leak out from their piles in the corners of the room, hiding the bare cement floor. Ghoulish faces coat the walls in paint, sneering out at their creator. Your mom is so scary. She can be a little intense, kind of overprotective, which I guess makes sense. Anyway, make yourself comfortable. You'll have to forgive the mess. I've been distracted lately. I haven't been cleaning much. And then we have dinner, but Reese gets upset, has one of his episodes. Dinner is already laid out. Dinner rolls, spaghetti, and a light salad. Kanika anxiously picks at her food. Stella is nervously talkative, and Reese is suddenly quiet and tense, his shoulders tight as his mother perches on the chair next to his. Dr. Kelly eyes all of you with a sharp, fierce gaze. So, we were talking about maybe watching a movie sometime this week while Malice is still in town. We'll have to see how you're feeling. I can handle a movie, Doc. Yeah, we'll just sit downstairs in the dark. Reese is used to that. I'm sure he'll be okay. You're always overestimating how much you're able to do, Reese. This is why you keep getting sick. If I get sick, so what? It's not like that's ever going to change. I'm sick every day, and I'm not getting better. I don't want to spend the last few miserable years of my life holed up in the basement alone, just because seeing my friends has been deemed too strenuous. I'm an adult, for God's sake. I can't believe I have to ask for permission from my mom to just have friends over. Reese stops mid-sentence, wincing in pain and wrapping himself in his arms. Don't say things like that. I'm doing everything I can to try and fix. Silence as Dr. Kelly's eyes shoot open. Reese? Reese abruptly pulls himself from the table and leaves. So yeah, then we went over to the library, talked to Oscar. Hey, you're here sooner than I expected. Hope dinner went okay? Hey, hope I'm not too late. Have I missed any creepy paranormal stuff? And Tabitha was there too. Eventually, Oscar and Kanika startle as the door swings open. Hold it, you're not taking my cousin along on any more of your little hijinks without me. Whoa. This is where I've seen it. It appears on top of the stain. And there we found the hatch. But opening the hatch was the biggest mistake. Stella pulls back the carpet, revealing a hatch, the floor around it stained in reddish brown. I'm going for it. And then we end up within this kind of like kaleidoscope nightmare. Wait, do you hear music? Movement stirs as a figure cloaked in shadows rises to attention. Stella? There you are. Ah, there's Wayne. I would have found you sooner, but the resident clearly doesn't want me here. And Wayne just kills a ditchling. It doesn't seem to have the same issue with these miserable little parasites. Bottom feeders always manage to slip through the cracks, don't they? And now we confront the ghost in charge of this paranormal activity, who was killed because of the Scarlets and wants any Scarlet blood for himself. The sins of the father are to be laid upon the children. One of you must forfeit, it doesn't matter which also explains why you and Tabitha are the only ones not possessed, because both of you are of Scarlet blood. Bullshit! I hope I didn't come too late. It wants something, doesn't it? And I think you know which of you should volunteer. You must be joking. Let's just leave. Agreed. Sybil, you got in here? Can you get us out? Sybil sighs. Tabitha, are you sure you want to leave this business unfinished? Absolutely. This is not our problem. If you think it's best course of action, yes, I can get you out. It's only a question of seeing through the illusion. We're in a basement, even if all of your senses are telling you otherwise. Try closing your eyes and remembering where you are. So we got out, but the business is unfinished. So, I'm so sorry, Mouse. I don't think I can talk right now. I'll call you, okay? She hurries off down the road. Before I go, Sybil places a hand on your arm, holding you back for a moment. I'm sure you have questions after everything you saw tonight, but let's not get into it here. I think everyone could use a little rest and relaxation right now, yourself included. If you swing by the tea room sometime tomorrow, say early afternoon, you and I can have a little chat. I'll see you then, Malice. And thusly, we finish episode 3. I wonder if there's going to be a point in which the summary for what happened in the last few episodes is going to take so long, it'll take me a full episode of my own recording just to go through it. You don't even notice yourself entering the guest room and falling into bed. Suddenly you're just there, buried under your family's musty covers. Before your thoughts can drift away to nightmarish recollections of hours past, your phone buzzes on the nightstand. Hey, sorry I ran off earlier. Wound up in a really bad headspace. I care about you so much. Just need some time to get a handle on things. Sorry. The spirit of Charles Shaw Jr. now commands the entirety of City Hall, a swirling void of wrath and despair that the people of this town will have to learn to ignore. Disaster looms its tallest yet over Scarlet Hollow. Well, Let us wake up. You open your eyes. It's a new day. Last night seems so far away you can almost pretend the horrors you witnessed in the annex were nothing but a nightmare, chased away by the harsh morning light. But you know that the furious spirit of Charles Shaw Jr. yet lingers, locked behind the doors of the town hall, still tied to the earth by its hatred of you and Tabitha. An involuntary shudder runs down your spine, but your thoughts are interrupted by the buzz of your phone on the nightstand. Hope you made it home okay? Haven't heard from Stella since last night. How about you? You check your messages. There's nothing from Stella. Let's text Stella. I'm gonna send Stella a photo of a nervous puppet. Memes really restore the psyche. That is one nervous puppet. You send a photo of a shaking frog biting his nails. You wait for a few silent minutes. Your message sits undelivered. She messaged me last night. Seems like she just has some stuff on her mind she needs to work through. Okay, that's good to know. I'm glad at least someone's heard from her. But I'm still kind of worried. It's a little odd for her to just dip with everything going on. I think we should look for her. Let's meet up in town, Kay? Looks like you have your morning plans in order. Let's visit the opossum. You open the drawers. The two opossums stare up at you. They both have bread now. That's nice. Wave at them. You wave at them. They continue to stare up at you blankly in response. Close the drawers. You close the drawers. This is their home now, and there's nothing you can do to change that. Let's take a shower. You might as well take a shower before starting the rest of your day. You step into the guest bathroom and into the shower. It feels good to wash away the grime of last night's haunting, but eventually you'll have to leave this place and confront the rest of the day. In the meantime, you... I have so many choices to think about. Let's see, do I think about the door in the clinic? Oscar and Rosalina. Let's think about the door in the clinic. You're still drawn to it, even now. You'll be going back there today, you're sure of it. You're done here. You turn off the faucet and dry yourself off. Let's check the closet. You make your way to the closet. There's no denying it. The doll moved at some point since your most recent visit. But your long-dead relative's creepy doll isn't the only thing that's different. Someone was in here. And judging by the residue that was left behind, you're pretty sure you know the culprit. That means he was in your room. But was he there while you were out of the previous day? Or did he enter while you slept unawares just a few feet away? So Wayne visited. Something to mull over for the rest of the day. It's time to face your cousin. You find her in the kitchen, her shoulders hunched in a tight ball of anxiety. They're striking. This week, of all weeks, as if I didn't have enough on my plate already. Your cousin is backed into a corner. The miners aren't just striking, they're putting on a stronger front than she anticipated. Talk about the strike. Wow. Let's go with you're in a really difficult spot right now. Yeah, I am. Hopefully it'll all be over soon. How are you feeling about the strike? You can be honest with me. Conflicted. It's going to be tough, and despite what a lot of people would have you believe, I'm not relishing the opportunity to pick a fight with my men. I don't think many people take pleasure in breaking strikes. Perlan would have, but that's not me. I don't know, it's complicated. Everything's so complicated. Do you know what the strikers even want? I haven't seen a list of demands. I'm sure it's just the usual. I promise you that if any one of them were in my shoes for a month, they'd be singing a different tune. Let's, So ghosts are real. I still can't get over that. I can. What does that actually change about anything? I still have a mind to run and you still have a funeral to attend. Tabitha, always being practical. Do you regret leaving Charlie down there? Not at all. I don't care if Grandma Eddie killed him. The past is the past, and neither of us had anything to do with it. We can always build a new town hall. We can never get back lost years. This is true. Have you heard anything from Stella? I can't get a hold of her. No, but that's not exactly newsworthy. I'm sure she's just processing what happened last night. We weren't the only ones who were traumatized. Yeah, she was used as a puppet. That would be pretty traumatizing. If the mine's in trouble, you should just sell it and sell the estate. Get out while you still can. Tabitha bristles. I'm not giving up like that. This is the Scarlet Mine. I'm not just going to cash out on our family's legacy. I'm bringing the mine back to life one way or another. You probably should get going, right? Yeah. I've dawdled long enough. Stay safe. No more hijinks. But let me know if you get in trouble, okay? Alright. That's Tabitha opening up very, very slightly. Tabitha slips past you, her heavy boots thudding down the hall as she marches away to face her employees. Time to figure out the rest of your day. Well, let's have a quick PB&J. If Stella's MIA, you know when... who knows when you'll get the chance to eat? You make yourself a PB&J in anticipation for the long day ahead of you. And that's that. And there's Frau, the cat, who is very upset. If I had the ability to speak to animals, I might be able to speak to Frau, but alas, Frau remains a side character who we never really get to know. It's time to head to town. You head to the front door and begin your trek to the town below. The sun shines down through a thin layer of clouds, illuminating the path in a watery gray light. Glimpses of pale figures dot your periphery. You haven't seen ditchlings in the middle of the day before. They're getting bolder. And yep, we got 1, we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To your surprise, you find a familiar face making its way up the path towards you. Hey, I was just coming up to see you. Hope you were able to get some sleep after everything that happened last night. I was up most of the night, totally wired on adrenaline. Even if I'd been able to chill out a bit, knowing that the thing was right down the street. Yeah, not super conducive to a good night's sleep. Do you think it's still there? I hoped it might go away on its own. I don't think it has any intention of leaving, so I guess the library is off limits from here on out. But considering the alternative, I don't think anybody can hold that against you. I'd much rather not be able to check out any library books ever again than let a ghost suck the life out of you. Seems like it would have been a bad trade. Let's see. No way was I trusting a ghost to uphold its end of the bargain. Smart move. If that thing was holding on to a grudge so hard that managed to stick around for 80 years, there's a good chance it would never be satisfied, no matter how much it took from the Scarlets. Might as well hold on to the one life you have instead of hoping it'd be enough to satisfy some revenge-starved old guy. There's ditchlings everywhere now, even though it's daytime. Avery turns to survey the tree line. I noticed a few on my way up. They're kind of funny now that I'm getting a good look at them, with their scrunched up little Shar-Pei faces. So should I be worried about these things? I know they're a bad omen or something, but like, are they dangerous? They're not going to eat me if I take a wrong turn, right? Oh, so they aren't cancerous tumors, they're eggs. I don't know if that's better. No, but you might get some eggs laid in your skin. Oh, is that all they do? That doesn't sound too bad. I think I could survive a parasitic larva or two. Just glad being eaten alive isn't on the table. I mean, is getting a parasite like that really any different from being eaten alive? They're still eating you, just more slowly and from the inside. Sure, I get where you're coming from, but that's a pretty big difference. If a mountain lion gets me, that's kind of just it, you know? I'm sure the wonders of modern medicine would be able to yank a couple eggs out of me. Heck, maybe I'd even be able to let the eggs hatch instead of just having them removed. It'd be sad to kill the babies, but at the end of the day, it's me or them. I gotta go with self-preservation. I get that. Being eaten sounds really bad. Seems like a painful way to go. While a parasitic larva sapping all my nutrients and leaving me a withered husk doesn't sound great, at least it doesn't involve any rending or tearing. And in theory, you could maybe talk to somebody about it, whereas while you're being eaten, you probably can't get away from that. Well, maybe tearing once it's done with me. But if I survived, I would have a hell of a story. Have you heard anything from Stella? I haven't heard from her, though we don't text much, and I haven't checked with Winnie to see if she came in for an early breakfast or anything. But if you haven't heard from her, that doesn't sound great. Seeing her like that last night was awful. She's usually so unflappable. She was flapped this time. Kanik and I are meeting up to look for Stella. Wanna come? Absolutely. I told Winnie I'd be coming in late today, so I've got time. I don't know how much time, though. From what I saw this morning, the diner is hopping. It's absolutely packed with miners. They must be using it as a home base for the strike. Oh, by the way, there's a strike going on. I'm sure you already know that, though. Have to imagine Tabitha would have told you this morning. Let's start back down the path to town. You and Avery start back down the path to town. It isn't long until you once again find yourself on the main street of Scarlet Hollow. Malice, you made it, and you picked up an Avery along the way. Hope you're both doing okay, like, emotionally. Yeah, I'm not too bad. That's good. I feel like I got crushed by a steamroller or something. Joints all out of whack, totally exhausted and super foggy. Mom has been insisting I caught a cold, and I wasn't buying it, but as of this morning, I've come around. It's definitely something beyond exhaustion, even considering the ridiculously stressful week we've all had. But I'm not going to let that stop me from looking for Stella. Oh my. Do you still think there could be a rational explanation for all of this? Probably not. Kanika sighs heavily. Rational? Sure. Rooted in the reality that until a few days ago I thought was devoid of all magic and supernatural shit? No. Ghosts are real. They can suck you into illusory dimensions and puppet your body like a fleshy marionette. Next thing you know, we'll find out there's a secret society of warlocks running the country, or that angels are real. You gotta admit it, it's kind of thrilling, isn't it? Anything could be possible. Who knows what the new day holds for all of us? It would be a little more thrilling if it weren't terrifying. All the magical stuff we found out so far just wants to hurt us. You know, that's the problem with all this magical stuff. It's basically all revolving around either death or causing death. Death that's been caused or death that's being caused. We need a magical being that's on our side. Where are the magical girls when you need them? Well, I still think there's a rational explanation. You know, aliens. Speaking of magic, I'm supposed to see your mom at some point today. Maybe she'll finally shed some light on things. I'm not sure what she's planning to tell you today that she couldn't have told all of us last night. Maybe she's going to read your fortune. After last night, I wouldn't doubt that she actually could. Your mom's always had a bit of that Glinda vibe going for her. The good witch of the East, I believe? Yeah, maybe I should stop making fun of her whole New Age mystic thing. A lot's happened in the past couple of days. I need to take a page out of Stella's book and just block this shit out. I need to be focused. I can't keep having all these existential crises. There'll be plenty of time for tea after we found Stella. Is someone manning the general store while we go looking for Stella? Mom and Miles can deal for another day while we go looking for Stella. This is important. Not that the store isn't, but if something happened to her and I was spending my time minding the register, I don't think I could live with that. I think last night just pushed her over the edge. I know I've only known her a couple days, but it feels like she has a tendency to run from difficult emotions. Usually she just changes the subject, but I guess this time she wound up literally running. You're absolutely right, and as her friends, we can't let her be alone at a time like this. I've made that mistake before. Plus, she could get mobbed by those weird little creatures or worse. Oh, who said that previous line? I don't know, it's too late. Exactly, this is no time for anyone to be off on their own. Who knows what kind of weird stuff is out there? It was probably Avery. After the past couple nights, I wouldn't be surprised if there were actually Bigfoots in the woods, just waiting to eat any human who wanders too far from civilization. Do Bigfoots thirst for human flesh? Is that some kind of common knowledge I wasn't keyed in on? I wouldn't be surprised, is all I'm saying. Okay, let's get started. I don't want to waste another minute. Where to first? I mean, we could probably check her house. Let's go to Stella's house. Good place to start. Maybe she just slept in. That's what I'm hoping. I would have gone already, but I was kind of nervous about doing anything by myself today, just in case I ran into yet another horror from beyond the veil or whatever. You make your way towards Stella's house. The door is as pristine as any old wooden door, no bloody handprints in sight, any telltale sign of Wayne absent. If something happened here, it didn't involve him, at least not at the front door. Kanika knocks anxiously on the door. It creaks open. The house is quiet, the world outside muffled as you take a cautious step over the threshold into the muted air of the living room. No excitable pug rushes to greet you at the door, and you have a feeling that no Stella is going to emerge from the shadows to sleepily greet you. This doesn't look like a break-in. It looks like somebody left the door open. Stella or someone else was in a hurry when they left. Nobody's here, and I don't think Wayne came knocking at the front door. Yeah, I don't see any goop, but he could have come in through the back, or a window. It'd be real weird coincidence if the front door was open and someone broke in somewhere else. Or maybe that's just wishful thinking. Guess we don't know till we go inside. Might as well invite ourselves in, right? Enter Stella's house. You take a step forward and cross the threshold into Stella's house. Aside from a corner of the room dedicated to Gretchen, Stella's house almost feels like a museum. Everything's organized with a sort of tidiness you wouldn't expect from someone as rough and tumble as Stella, and only a handful of objects feel like they belong to her. Princess. Gretchen's got like a big old bed. Whatever happened to Stella, it doesn't look like it happened here. Also, those boots have not been used in a long time if they've got spiderwebs around them. And then there's her with her parents who have died in a car accident. Doesn't look like there was a struggle or anything, unless it happened in another room, or maybe someone or something caught her off guard. You don't have to add that last part. I'm gonna forget that you said that and just be thankful that this doesn't look like a crime scene. Let's investigate the kitchen. We've been in the kitchen before. Stella's kitchen is slightly messy. A couple cabinets are hanging open and a loaf of bread sits on the counter by a used butter knife. That is one messy way to leave behind a loaf of bread. What are you doing, Stella? You didn't even screw the jar of peanut butter back on properly. The crust of the bread has gone somewhat stale, about as much as you'd expect after being left out overnight. Whoever left it here left many hours ago. It's a little messy, but it doesn't look like anything violent happened here. It's possible she came home, grabbed some food, and left in a hurry, right? Did she have somewhere she needed to be? She didn't say she had something she had to rush off to. Maybe she just had a panic attack after being possessed. But that was over 12 hours ago. I'd hoped she would be home by now if that was the case. Is Stella the sort of person to stop back home to make a snack in the middle of a mental health crisis? Yes. And it's comforting to think that that might be all that happened. A panic attack is much more manageable than rotting ghouls or parasitic doughboys. Alright, let's go to Stella's room. I was gonna say, this was a little worrying, but she is a cryptid hunter, and that's probably part of it. You make your way down the hall to what you assume to be Stella's room. She's not here. Though it's a little untidy, it's the usual sort of untidiness that accumulates when someone doesn't often have guests in their bedroom. There aren't any signs of violence. No streaks of blood and pus that might belong to a certain phantom miner. He hasn't been here. You do notice that her jacket is nowhere in sight. It isn't in her closet, and it wasn't on the coat rack in the other room. Stella's jacket is gone. The Letterman one. It wasn't on the rack in the other room. It's not in here, and she didn't have it yesterday. Okay, I'm sold. Between this and the kitchen, she must have come home last night. And it seems like she was the one who decided to leave. No struggle or anything. Let's check her computer. You go to check Stella's computer. I'm not sure we should be snooping on her computer. Isn't that an invasion of privacy? We already broke into her house, right? For all we know, there could be some sort of clue on there. Like a note detailing exactly where she is. We didn't break into her house. The door was left wide open. I mean, we went in uninvited. Well, maybe the computer was left open too. Exactly. If there wasn't a password, maybe we're supposed to take a peek. Maybe we'll find the first note in an elaborate scavenger hunt she set up overnight. Sure, snoop away, but I'm not going to take part in this. I'll just be over here, standing in the corner of the room, not looking over your shoulder. Let me know if you find anything. Stella's desktop is horrifically cluttered. There are simply too many files and folders to fit on her monitor, and they overlap each other in a chaotic, multi-layered display. Whoa, how do we find anything on here? You don't. Come on, let's go. check her search history. You check Stella's search history. She hasn't visited any websites since Tuesday night. If she came home after last night's incident, she didn't touch her browser. Her search history is almost entirely work-related, a furious series of queries for various monsters and cryptids that might fit the profile of ditchlings. That's that. Alright, I think we've seen enough. Thank God. Yeah, I don't think there are any clues here. I don't think so either. This is what her room's been like for pretty much the entire time I've known her. The only thing that's changed is the computer getting a lot fancier. It could use a few more houseplants. I'll put together some trimmings after we've found her. Aw, she still does those corkboard with string things. She loves putting the strings on there. I don't think they actually mean anything, but they're more for decoration anyway. Okay, I don't think we're gonna find much else here. Let's move on. Okay, so she probably came home last night, but she's not here now, and we don't have any idea where she might have gone. I thought I was overreacting this morning. I hope she wouldn't just be sleeping in. I can't believe she's actually missing. We'll find her. Where to next? Alright, I think I'm gonna stop here for the night. Got any suggestions for someone to play next? Leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have yourselves a good night.